There are a ton of hidden continuity features across Apple's ecosystem. Speed up AirDrop between devices by using a cable. Sign a PDF on your Mac from your iPhone or iPad. Sync text expander like Snippets across all your devices. Turn off autoplay video previews here on Apple TV. Hidden AirPods features, and a ton more. First, if you ever need to sign a document like a PDF on your Mac, you can actually draw the signature on your phone. So here I have a PDF, a W9 form. I'm going to click the markup tool here in the toolbar, and then you'll see this symbol, which lets you add and save signatures. But if you don't already have signatures saved, you can go to Create Signature, then you can actually hold up a picture of your signature, or go over to iPhone or iPad, select one of your Apple devices, and you'll see once I select my iPhone's actually going to go into this mode where I can now sign my name. Then I'll sign my name, I'll just use a scribble here, and then you'll see that signature pop up right there on the Mac. Now I can tap Done, and that signature is saved, and then I can insert this into any PDF I might need to sign in the future. This also works if you want to put a sketch in a note, but you're here on your Mac. Let's say I have some text, I could have photos, and now I want to add a sketch. Well, I'll go up to File here in Notes, and then Insert from iPhone or iPad. Now you also see I can choose to take a photo or scan a document both from my iPhone, or I can do this from my iPad. So this time I'll add a sketch from my iPad, and you'll see once I click Add Sketch, my iPad's going to go into the sketch mode. Now I can take my Apple Pencil and write something like subscribe, and once I tap the blue check mark, that sketch is immediately going to appear here in the note. Next, I had no idea this was possible, but you can speed up airdropping large files from two Apple devices using a cable. Now this will work across any Apple devices, but I'll go to my photos. So I went to my videos here in my photo library, and let's say I wanted to share a bunch of video clips. Well, this will probably take a long time to airdrop. Now I can start the process, I'll tap the person I want to airdrop to, and I can accept the airdrop here on the other device, and you see it started transferring, but it's going to take a little while. Well, I'm going to plug in the cable, and not only can you charge an iPhone to an iPhone, but you'll see that progress got way faster. And you'll also see using wired connection there in the AirDrop Live activity. So if you want to drop large files or numerous files, use a cable, goes way faster. Next, if there's ever something you type often on your phone, like an email address, or maybe a link to a YouTube channel, you can create keyboard shortcuts that are just a few letters long, and then when you tap spacebar, it will expand it to the full URL or even a paragraph of text. And those snippets will actually sync across all your Apple devices. So just go to the Settings app, go down to General, and then go down to Keyboard. Here you'll see Text Replacement, and this is where you can program multiple shortcuts and they'll sync across all your devices. And this can be like full paragraphs too. Like maybe you want a response like, sorry, can't right now, let's try next week. And then I can make that any shortcut. I like adding a symbol in front of the letters, this way it doesn't try to autocorrect something random, but I'll just do semicolon sorry. And once you save that text snippet, it's gonna be available across your devices. Then wherever you write text, like an email or a text message, you just do semicolon sorry, and then it expands to that full phrase. And even though we just created that keyboard shortcut, I can go here on my iPad, I'll do the same thing, just semicolon and the word sorry, hit the spacebar, and it expands it right there. This also syncs to your Mac. And speaking of your Mac, did you know you can set it as an AirPlay Receiver? So you can actually send video and audio to a Mac as a destination. Just go to your settings here by clicking the Apple icon and then System Settings. Here in the settings pane, go down to AirDrop and Handoff, and then choose AirPlay Receiver, toggle that on. Now your Mac is going to show up like an Apple TV. Now if you're watching a video, like one of my shortcuts videos I'll link above, I can go down to the AirPlay menu, and then you'll actually see your Mac down here. Here's my Mac Studio, I can AirPlay, and now I'm AirPlaying that video to my Mac as if it's an Apple TV. This could be helpful if you have a Mac attached to like a conference room TV and you want to be able to use it to AirPlay and not have an additional Apple TV device. Or you can even use Apple Vision Pro as an AirPlay receiver, and I AirPlay my iPad into Vision Pro so I can build shortcuts while I watch movies. Next, if you're annoyed that video always autoplays when you open your Apple TV and you're on that home screen, you can actually turn that off. And you can turn that off across all your Apple devices. But before we get to that tip, I have another tip if you want to save on your monthly phone bill, and that's using today's sponsor, Mint Mobile. Never go through the hassle of visiting a carrier store again when you sign up for Mint Mobile and do everything easily and online. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless without the premium price tag. All plans include unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network, and on their unlimited plans, hotspot up to 20 gigabytes is totally included, and I use hotspot all the time. And Mint introduced the concept of bulk savings with your wireless. The more months you buy up front, the more you save. You can buy 3, 6, and even 12-month durations. So you don't have to deal with a monthly wireless bill anymore. Just buy for the whole year, and you're done. Plus, Mint lets you choose the data that's right for you, so you don't overpay for something one size fits all. You can select from 5, 15, 20 gigabytes, or unlimited data each month. And switching is easy. You can sign up and activate in minutes using eSIM. And I've had to deal with other carriers when it comes to eSIM and switching phones, and Mint Mobile makes it much easier just to do it all yourself. And for a limited time, you can get 50% off an unlimited wireless plan from Mint. So just scan this QR code right here or click the link down in the description and you can lock in Mint's lowest price for an entire year. That's $15 a month for 3, 6, or a 12-month period and unlimited data. If you want to save money on wireless, Mint Mobile is the way to go. So scan this QR code, check out the link in the description, and my thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring this video. All right, so if you're tired of the autoplay video previews here on Apple TV, we're gonna go to the Settings app, and here in Apple TV Settings, I'm gonna go down to Accessibility, then go down to Motion, and here we have Autoplay Video Previews. If I toggle this off, now I can tap the Apple TV button, it goes to that home page or the Apple TV page, and no videos are going to autoplay. Now this setting doesn't sync across your devices, but it's available on your iPhone and iPad as well. If we go to the Settings app here on iPad, go over to Accessibility, and this time we're gonna go to Motion. And here you'll see Autoplay Video Previews, and here you can toggle it off. It's in the same place on your iPhone. Now while we're here on Apple TV, you can also use your iPhone or iPad camera for FaceTiming on your Apple TV. Now this will also work with third-party apps like Zoom or WebEx, but I'm just gonna go to the FaceTime app here on Apple TV. And if the Apple TV is logged in under the same iCloud account as my other Apple devices, I can just select it here. I can tap my name, and then I can continue on whatever device. You'll see the notification popped here on iPad, and also have that notification here on my iPhone. If I just tap it, I'll hit accept, and now my phone camera is being used as the camera on my Apple TV, and I can FaceTime someone. Then I can select someone to FaceTime, and I'm good to go. But if this is something like a conference room TV or it's at work, just scan this QR code, and then any iPhone or iPad can be used as a camera for FaceTime or video calls with Apple TV. All right, and one other Apple TV trick with iPhone or iPad. You probably know you can swipe down a control center and use your iPhone as a remote for your Apple TV. Just select the right TV up here, and now I can tap back, I can navigate the Apple TV. This way you don't need the actual physical remote. But one of the things I like about the remote is the physical directional buttons, like pressing up, down, left, and right. Well, you can actually have those buttons appear on your iPhone. For this, I'm gonna go to the settings, and we're gonna go back down to accessibility. Here, scroll down, and you'll see a section called accessories. There you'll see Apple TV settings. Tap that, and now you can choose to always display guide and channel buttons, and always display directional buttons. I'm gonna toggle both of these on. Then when I go back to actually control my Apple TV, you'll see the directional buttons are here, and now I can just tap it up, down, left, and right. This way, if you don't like swiping and you'd rather just be able to tap a direction, now you can do that on your iPhone or using your iPad as an Apple TV remote. Next, all your Apple devices have background sounds built in, like rain noise or rainforest. Here in Control Center, just tap and hold to start editing, tap Add a Control, and then here in the search box, just search for background. Here you'll see a background sounds button, add that to your Control Center, and then get out of edit mode, and once you tap it, it's gonna start playing some of that background audio. You see right now it's playing rain sounds, and just tap it to turn it off. That'll also go to your AirPods if you have those connected. You can also tap and hold on that icon. You can adjust the volume here, or even change the sound. So if you want it to be ocean sounds, nighttime, fire, and more, you have all of those here. The same is true on iPad, and you can also do it here on the Mac. So I'll go back into Control Center on the Mac, click Edit Controls here at the bottom, and then search for the same thing, background sounds. Tap the green plus icon, and you can add it to Control Center or directly to your menu bar. And now I have rain sounds here on my Mac. Now here on the Mac, you can't easily change the kind of sound like you do on iPhone and iPad, but you can still go to Apple System Settings, and then in Accessibility, go to Audio Settings, and you can see all the background settings here. You can choose what sound you want it to play, the volume, even equalizer, and a timer. And also turn off background sounds when your Mac is not in use. This way, once your Mac goes to sleep or you stop working for the day, it doesn't keep playing in the background. Now, while we're here on the Mac, you can use your iPhone as a high-quality mic to record audio on the Mac. To do this, I'm gonna open Spotlight and search for QuickTime Player, just kind of the quickest way to get an audio recording. I'll go up to File, and then New Audio Recording, and then here on the Mac, when I click the little arrow, you'll actually see my iPhone show up as an option to choose as a mic. Your iPhone's gonna go into this mode, kind of like continuity camera. And if I talk into the bottom of the iPhone, you'll see the audio levels here. Let's actually do a quick recording so you can hear what it sounds like. And the audio you're hearing right now is from my iPhone microphone. So even if you wanted to maybe start podcasting or just get a higher quality audio recording, use your iPhone mic. You can record in QuickTime or in lots of other apps and just select your iPhone microphone as your input. Next, there's a bunch of settings for your AirPods that are kind of hidden. So connect your AirPods to your phone or just put them in your ears and then go to the Settings app. Then go down to Accessibility, go down to Devices, and then go to AirPods. Here you're going to see more options than just in the regular AirPod settings, like the press speed for clicking once and twice. If you often only have one AirPod in, which won't let you do noise cancellation by default, you can toggle this on, and this way toggle noise canceling even if you're just wearing one AirPod. Also, loud sound reduction when you're in transparency mode, that was off by default for me, so turn that on here in the accessibility settings. You can also choose head tracking, adjust the tone volume for things like low battery, and if you find yourself inadvertently changing the volume by swiping on the stem, you can change the pause required before those adjustments down here at the bottom. And one other thing while we're here in accessibility. If you didn't know, you can control your Apple Watch from your iPhone. Scroll a little farther up in the accessibility settings and you'll see Apple Watch mirroring. Toggle this on and all of a sudden your Apple Watch is going to be right here on your phone. And this is literally AirPlay mirroring your watch. This is not just kind of static image or video. So I can literally tap and hold, I can tap to edit a watch face. You'll even see the live blinking for seconds, and if I tap a complication, it will go into that Apple Watch app. So if you want to be able to maybe customize your Apple Watch, and maybe it's easier to do it here on your iPhone than physically on the watch, you can do that. All right, and the last few tips here. You probably know about Universal Clipboard, which means if I select something either on my iPhone, my iPad, or my Mac and tap copy, I can literally paste it on my other Apple devices almost instantly. So that copy and paste is really seamless. But you might not know, it also works for images. So for instance, if I tap and hold an image here just in my photo library, I can tap copy on my iPhone, and then I can just do Command V on my Mac, and it's gonna paste the actual image. This even works for images that you might not have saved to your library. So here I am in Google Image Search, and maybe I wanna copy this image over to my Mac. Well, I'll just tap and hold on the image, press copy here on my iPhone, and then over here on my Mac, you'll actually see the continuity clipboard, that little pop-up. And if I right click and then paste, it's gonna paste that image. So you don't even need to save it to your camera roll. You can literally just copy paste it. But let's take this one step further. All of your Apple devices have the ability to cut out a subject from its background. And you can even copy and paste that across Universal Clipboard. So if I tap and hold on this image and start dragging it around, you'll see I'm just dragging myself. It's cut out from the background. And once I let go, you'll see a copy and share option. If I tap copy here, and here in my Mac, I do a Command V to paste, it will actually just paste the cutout of me, not the entire image. You can also remove a background from an image right here in the Finder. You don't even have to open it. I'm gonna duplicate it first, this way you can see the difference. And now if I right click it, go down to Quick Actions, and then just select Remove Background, it's going to cut me out from the background, and it created a PNG file just like that. All right, and one last trick. Universal Control, I actually use all the time when I'm editing podcasts. I'll show you that use case in a second, but I can take the mouse and keyboard that's currently connected here on my Mac Studio, drag the mouse all the way over, and now I'm controlling my iPad. And if you just wanted to pull the subject from the photo and drag it into a project you're working on your Mac, here on my iPad with Universal Control, I'll just start dragging the subject here. You see I kind of cut out there, disembodied, drag it to the edge, drag it onto my Mac, drag it into an Apple Note, let go, and it appears in the Apple Note. Now, I do this all the time when I'm editing a podcast, and I'll just show you how I do that real quick. So I edit my podcast, Primary Technology, on my iPad every week. Subscribe to Primary Tech above and links below as well. But I add a ton of chapters to every episode, and I like custom chapter artwork. So let's say I wanted to add chapter artwork to this Siri bot here. I'll remove the artwork for now, and I'm still using Universal Control. I'm using my Mac keyboard and mouse to control my iPad. Well, now I'll go to an article where I'd like to pull the image and use it as that chapter art. Well, now without saving the photo, putting it on my desktop or anything else, I'm just gonna click and start dragging the photo here on my Mac. I'm gonna start dragging it to the right edge, keep dragging it, now it's on the iPad, drag it all the way into the Add Chapter Artwork in Ferrite, let go, then Ferrite lets me choose where to crop it. I tap save, and now I save chapter artwork just by dragging images from my Mac in a web browser in Safari to Ferrite the app. Didn't have to save the photos, didn't have to add files anywhere. It just does it all with Universal Control. Let me do one more because it's kind of fun to do. So here I am in Safari on my Mac. I'll just click and start dragging an image. It goes all the way over to my iPad. I let go, and I've set the chapter artwork, and I'm done. So those are 15 features for Apple's continuity ecosystem. Let me know if you learned anything new down in the comments, or if you have a feature that you think I might not know yet. I'd love to hear about that down below as well. Get subscribed and hit that like button. Lots of tip videos as iOS 26.3 and .4 come out. I'll be covering it right here on the channel. And any new hardware or apps that might be coming, it'll be right here. Also, I do a ton of shortcuts and automation here on the channel. You can check out my top shortcuts of 2025 right up here. That's been pretty popular. I also do a bunch of smart home content, which is like automation, but for the home. And I recently reviewed the first ultra-wideband smart lock, which works great with Apple's devices. You can check out that video right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.